This is a true tale about two mighty nations, an ill-fated pig and a most unusual war. It is also a story about sharing. The date, June 15th, 1859. The setting, a small but lovely island called San Juan, off the green coast of today's Pacific Northwest. Was the island American? Was it British? That depended on who you asked. The characters. A few dozen men who had gotten along okay, for the most part, for some years. What were they doing there? Well, the Brits were raising sheep for a powerful British corporation called the Hudson's Bay Company. The Americans? Most of them were former miners looking for a bit of land to settle down on. The mood? About to change. For the worse. On this spring day, an American settler named Lyman Cutlar looked out his window and spied a large pig rooting in his potato patch. The pig was British, or at least its owner was. Now, the Brits and the Yanks were on fairly good terms. True, they'd fought a terrible war, America's War of Independence, nearly a century before. And then about 30 years later they'd clashed again in the War of 1812. But since then, things had calmed down. They were, if not exactly friends, then at least polite rivals in the exploration and settlement of the West. But still, tempers can flare, and on this fateful morning, Lyman's did. Maybe Lyman hadn't had his coffee. Maybe he'd slept poorly. Maybe he was looking forward to boiling those potatoes for his supper. Maybe he was thinking of the many painful miles he'd rode to buy the potato seed. But for whatever reason, when he saw that pig, he got cranky. He acted without thinking, and the pig paid the ultimate price. Poor pig. Instantly, Lyman regretted his rashness. He hurried to the pig's owner, Charles Griffin, and offered to pay for the animal. A gleam in his eye, Charles asked Lyman for $100, and all would be forgiven. Simple, right? Not quite. $100 was an outrageous sum at the time. For that kind of money, a person could buy a nice plot of land. A farm laborer earned only about $200 per year. Lyman refused to pay. "There is a better chance for lightning to strike you than for you to get $100 for that hog," he said. Charles was affronted. "You Americans are a nuisance on the island," he bellowed. In Charles's eyes, the island was British. "I consider it American soil," retorted Lyman.